and welcome to this video. This is a video about two lines in the Nimzo Indian, and it's combined in one video because those two lines may transpose into one another and share similar ideas and concepts. So we have the starting position of the Nimzo, and now the two lines that we're going to examine are F3 and the move A3. Those two lines, as I said, are somewhat similar in nature and indeed sometimes transpositional. In both of them, White's idea is to build up a huge center. With F3, this is a more apparent version actually, where E4 is an immediate threat. With A3, White is basically saying, okay, go ahead, I don't mind if you destroy my pawn structure, if I later can play F3 and E4. This is the main later idea that White has. Build up a huge center and accept that the queen side is weakened. We're going to start with A3 in this video, the so-called Sämisch variation. Yeah, black is of course capturing on C3, and after b takes, we see a clear outline. The queen side is completely destroyed, actually. Those two pawns are weak, and the whole queen side is weak. Squares and so on. There's a huge structural problem for White here. The upside that White sometimes has is he's got the bishop here, of course, and he can play F3, E4 as an idea and try to steamroll us in the center on the king side. The Sämisch variation does not have a very good reputation. It is only very rarely played on the top level, sometimes as a surprise weapon. And as a surprise, it has been played even by Magnus Carlsen in Blitz games. So it's something that should be taken seriously, even though it is probably not objectively the absolute best line for White. Black has a pretty wide choice here. We recommend to castle. This is a flexible move, a move that we probably want to play anyway. And now we await what White's next move is going to be, and then we have to react accordingly. It is very much noteworthy that against A3, our pawn structure will be a lot more diverse than it is usually in this repertoire. Oftentimes, D5 is the move that we play. Like in the Ragozin, we play D5 even before bishop B4. We play D5 against E3. But against the Sämisch, playing D5 is rarely a good idea, because if you imagine D5 at a later stage and White takes, this is something that White is rather happy about. He's then able to get rid of one of the double pawn and improve his pawn structure, increase his central control. So we should only play D5 in situations where it's clearly beneficial for us, where it's like a tactical justification or a direct line. We rather want to be more flexible. One idea, for example, is to directly play against the weakened queen side by means of putting the knight to A5, B6, and bishop A6. We'll see more of that later. Now, there's a split. White can try a couple of moves here. The most dangerous one and most principled one is probably F3, as you probably have guessed, mentioning that E4 is White's plan. But there are others, not very dangerous moves though. If White plays E3, this would be a more restrained version of the central expansion, first trying to develop. We play knight C6. The move knight C6 is also going to be the answer to F3, and this can basically be described as a slower version of that. White is playing like this and will often later try to expand. Note that this position can easily arise from a different move order, where White plays E3 on move 4 and then plays A3 after castling. This is therefore not examined here, but in the chapter on 4E3. This is by far the more common way to get this. White can also play knight F3. The move knight F3, however, does not go all that well. with the idea to go for double pawns on the queen side. The reason is that it is not really supporting the central expansion. You want to go get e4 in, and with knight f3, you're not doing all that much in that regard. We have a couple of good answers to this move. Our suggestion here is d5 in the spirit of the Ragozin. In fact, this is a position that looks a lot like a Ragozin. Here we can look at some lines, but you probably it will feel very familiar to you, the play from Ragozin lines. Note that here d5 is played. I mentioned some minutes ago that you need a concrete justification for that. Here the justification is actually that the knight is on f3, because with d5 we stake some claim in the center. This was a free preview of our anti-1d4 course based on the Nimzo Indian and Ragozin, available on chessable.com. Thanks for watching and see you soon.